Hello there, and welcome to this peaceful place. Tonight, we're going to journey through the story of silver, the moon metal that has walked alongside humanity for over 5,000 years. From ancient hands pulling ore from mountain darkness to the invisible threads inside the device near your bed. From coins that crossed continents to the circuits carrying your voice across the world. We'll explore silver slowly, gently, one luminous fact at a time. You don't need to remember every detail you hear. These are simply stories that silver tells, whispers of commerce and craft, of moonlight captured in metal form, of a substance both precious and practical. Let these facts wash over you like cool, silvery light, carrying you toward rest. If you enjoy this journey, consider liking and subscribing, or sharing your thoughts in the comments. It helps others find their way here too. But for now, all you need to do is breathe slowly, let your body settle, and imagine yourself surrounded by the cool, gentle glow of silver. Now, if you're ready, let's begin our journey into the story of the moon metal. And as your breathing settles into a slow, steady rhythm, imagine ancient hands pulling silvery ore from dark mountain tunnels, hands hammering soft metal into coins that rang like small bells when they struck stone. Silver has been with us since the dawn of civilization, valued almost as long as gold itself. But unlike gold's warm sun glow, silver captures something different. The cool light of the moon, the gleam of stars on water, the hush of snow at evening. With each calm breath, drift back through millennia, back to when silver first emerged from stone. Let the story of humanity's relationship with silver carry you gently into wonder. The first miners pulled silver from Anatolian mountains 5,000 years ago. In what we now call Turkey, ancient hands reached into darkness and pulled out stone that gleamed like captured moonlight. This happened before writing existed, before cities rose, before history had a name. They didn't understand chemistry, they recognized beauty. They sensed value. When heated, certain rocks released something precious, a metal that pooled like liquid light. Those first miners couldn't know their discovery would still circulate through human civilization 5 millennia later. But here you are, connected to those ancient hands through the silver that still moves through our world. Every language has a word for silver, and they all sound like the metal. Sulfur in Old English, argentum in Latin, argudos in Greek, kesef in ancient Hebrew, which meant both silver and money, the words inseparable. Different tongues, same recognition. Wherever humans found this metal, they named it with sounds that feel cool and smooth against the ear. Some words carry the essence of what they describe. Silver is one of them. These ancient names drift through time like whispers, each one testament to how long we've valued this gleaming metal. Rome's word for money became silver's chemical symbol. On the periodic table, silver sits at position 47, AG, from argentum, the Roman word, meaning both silver and money. To speak of wealth in ancient Rome was to speak of silver. Element 47 holds unique properties: best conductor of electricity, finest conductor of heat, most reflective surface in nature. Science confirms what humans always felt. Silver is special, measurably so. The Romans built their understanding of value into the very language of elements, connecting us across 2,000 years to their purses and markets. In ancient Egypt, silver sometimes cost more than gold. Picture the land of golden pharaohs, where pyramids rose to meet the sun. Yet there were eras when silver shone more precious. Egypt had gold from Nubian mines, abundant, familiar, almost common. But silver came from distant lands, carried across deserts by traders, rare and exotic. Imagine the reversal: the sun metal everywhere, the moon metal scarce. Value shifts with circumstance, with availability, with human perception. What we treasure depends on what we can reach. Athenian democracy was built on silver mines. Deep beneath Greek earth, thousands of slaves and laborers extracted silver from the mines of Laurion. The ore they pulled from darkness became ships, temples, philosophy itself. The Parthenon's marble columns, Socrates teaching in the Agora, Athens's powerful navy that defeated Persia at Salamis, all funded by silver extracted from those tunnels. Stone became metal, metal became coins, coins became a civilization whose echoes still shape our world today. The silver that built democracy came from the darkness beneath Greek soil. Before coins existed, people paid with hack silver. Standardized coinage hadn't been invented yet. Instead, silver circulated as rings, ingots, and hack silver, fragments hacked from larger pieces and weighed for each transaction. Archaeologists across the ancient world find hoards of this silver, hidden in walls, buried in fields, sometimes never retrieved by those who stashed it. The hack silver system worked, but was cumbersome, requiring scales and trust in purity. The invention of standardized coins would revolutionize this system, and silver would play the central role. The world's first coins were made of electrum, a natural gold-silver alloy. In the riverbeds of ancient Lydia, waters carried grains of metal worn from distant mountains. Gold and silver, naturally mixed, settled in the silt. Electrum, neither purely gold nor purely silver, but both. Around 600 BCE, King Eleatus looked at this mixed metal and saw possibility. Stamped coins, guaranteed weight, trusted value. The lion's head on that first coin changed everything. The idea spread like ripples in water, transforming how humans exchanged goods across the Mediterranean world. Roman soldiers were paid in silver denarii for 4 centuries. Picture a legionary receiving his stipend, shiny silver denarii, each bearing the emperor's face. These coins traveled from Britain to Mesopotamia, from Germanic forests to Egyptian deserts. Millions minted, billions of exchanges. Silver flowed through the empire like blood through a body, carrying Roman power to the edges of the known world. The word salary itself comes from salt allowances, but silver was the real payment, the real value. 400 years of circulation bound the empire together. Rome's silver coins became worthless as the empire crumbled. Early denarii, pure silver, heavy and valuable. Later denarii, more copper, less silver, same face value. By the empire's end, barely any silver remained, just a thin wash over base metal. Empires stretch too far, spend too much, fight too many wars, and slowly, quietly, they begin adding cheaper metal to their coins. The pattern repeats through history like waves on a shore. Rome's currency debasement didn't cause the empire's fall, but it measured the distance Rome had fallen from its peak. Silver was the language of the Silk Road. Caravans moved east from Rome laden with silver. Ships sailed west from China, carrying silk and porcelain. The exchange point? Silver for goods, goods for silver, across thousands of miles. See it from above, trade routes glowing faintly, silver flowing one direction, treasures flowing back. The world's first truly global economy, and silver was the language everyone spoke. Chinese silk reached Roman senators, Roman glass reached Chinese nobles, and silver moved constantly between them, patient and persistent, crossing continents and cultures. Medieval alchemists called silver luna, the moon made metal. Cool, reflective, feminine, where gold was masculine and solar. They weren't entirely wrong. Silver does capture something lunar, that pale gleam, that cool touch, that gentle reflection rather than bold shine. The association persists today. Silver retains its lunar quality, its ability to capture and reflect light in ways that feel almost magical. Judas betrayed Jesus for 30 pieces of silver. From Genesis to Revelation, the Bible mentions silver hundreds of times as currency, as tribute, as adornment for the temple. But one transaction linked silver forever with both value and moral choice. 30 shekels, the price of betrayal. The metal that built temples also purchased treachery, proving that silver itself is neutral. What matters is the hand that holds it. In ancient Hebrew, kesef meant both silver and money. To speak of wealth was to speak of silver. This linguistic unity reflected economic reality. For millennia, silver was money, and money was silver. As empires rose and fell around the Mediterranean, far across the ocean, mountain ranges held silver deposits beyond imagination. Deposits that would remain hidden for centuries, waiting for explorers driven by dreams of wealth. Let us journey now across the Atlantic to the New World, where Spanish conquistadors would discover silver mountains, mountains so rich they would transform the global economy and fund empires for 300 years. Breathe slowly. Feel yourself drifting across time and ocean. The story of silver moves to the Americas. In 1545, a mountain of silver was discovered in the Andes. High in thin air where breath comes hard, Cerro Rico rose, the rich mountain. Some say an indigenous man revealed it under torture. Others say a llama herder noticed silvery ore glinting in sunset light. However it happened, what followed changed the world. This single mountain in modern Bolivia would produce more silver than anywhere, ever, enough to fund an empire for centuries. Cerro Rico's veins ran through the mountain like frozen lightning, waiting to be discovered, waiting to transform global history. Vallejo Potosí became Spanish for worth of fortune. At its peak, Potosí, the city that grew around Cerro Rico, held more people than London or Paris. Imagine, in the middle of nowhere, at crushing altitude, a metropolis built entirely on silver. Churches with silver altars, streets paved with silver ore, wealth flowing like water. When something was incredibly valuable, beyond measure, Spanish speakers said it was worth a Potosí. The phrase itself became treasure, a byword for impossible wealth extracted from impossible places. 8 million died mining Potosí silver. Millions of indigenous laborers and African slaves entered those tunnels. Many never returned. The silver that built European cathedrals, that financed wars and art and empires, it carried weight beyond metal. Mita, the forced labor system, required indigenous communities to send workers to the mines for months at a time. Mercury poisoning from the extraction process killed thousands. Cave-ins killed thousands more. We acknowledge this quietly. History holds both beauty and sorrow. Silver's story includes both. Mexican mines eventually outproduced Potosi. The silver flowed and flowed, seemingly endless, transforming the global economy simply by existing. Spanish galleons carried Mexican silver across the Pacific to Manila, then traded it for Chinese silk and porcelain. The world's first truly global trade network, built on Mexican mountains. The Spanish dollar became the world's first global currency. 8 reals stamped with Spanish royal seals, the 8-piece dollar from pirate stories. But this wasn't fiction. These coins circulated everywhere. Chinese ports, Dutch markets, Caribbean islands, Ottoman bazaars. Everyone recognized them. Everyone accepted them. For the first time in history, one currency crossed all borders, spoke all languages, belonged to no single place. Your US dollar descends from this coin. So does the Chinese yuan. When you say 2 bits for a quarter, you're echoing the practice of cutting these coins into 8 pieces. American silver flooded Europe and caused massive inflation. Imagine a marketplace where suddenly everyone has twice as much money. The bread costs more, the wool costs more, everything adjusts upward. This is what American silver did to Europe, the price revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries. European prices doubled or tripled as silver flooded in. Too much money chasing the same goods. Spain itself suffered despite its silver riches, or perhaps because of them. The crown spent silver faster than it arrived, borrowing against future shipments, trapped in endless wars. Raw resources alone don't guarantee prosperity. The patio process used mercury to extract more silver. In 1554, Bartolomé de Medina developed a new method in Pachuca, Mexico. Crush silver ore, mix with salt, copper sulfate, and mercury. Spread in large patios where workers and animals walked over it for weeks. The mercury bonded with silver, forming an amalgam that could be heated to evaporate the mercury, leaving pure silver behind. This process made it economical to extract silver from lower-grade ores, multiplying production. But the mercury pollution persists in Mexican soil and water today, a toxic legacy of Spanish silver extraction. China's demand for silver drove global trade. China operated on a silver standard and produced goods, silk, porcelain, tea, that Europe desperately wanted. But China wanted little that Europe produced except silver. This created a massive flow of American silver across the Pacific. Spanish galleons sailed from Acapulco to Manila loaded with Mexican silver, trading it for Chinese goods. Silver was the key that unlocked Asian trade, the lubricant that made global commerce possible. Without Chinese demand for silver, the Manila galleon trade wouldn't have existed. Pirates and privateers hunted Spanish treasure fleets. The convoys sailing from the Americas to Spain became legendary targets. Francis Drake, Henry Morgan, government-sanctioned privateers, and outright pirates hunted ships laden with silver bars and coins. The Spanish developed the convoy system, warships protecting merchant vessels. Still, storms, pirates, and privateers claimed dozens of treasure ships. Some of those wrecks still yield silver coins today, blackened by centuries underwater, but still recognizable, still valuable. The Manila Galleon connected 3 continents for 250 years. From 1565 to 1815, the Manila Galleon trade route formed a crucial link in global commerce. Silver mined in Mexico traveled to the Philippines, traded for Asian goods, which then moved to Europe or back to the Americas. This created the first truly global economy, where events in one region rippled across all others. Silver was the thread connecting distant civilizations, the universal language of value. When the galleon trade ended in 1815, it marked the close of an era. Spanish power waning, new nations rising, silver's role beginning to shift from currency to commodity. As Spanish power waned and new nations rose, silver's role continued to evolve. From American frontier towns to European financial centers, from revolutionary photography to industrial applications, silver adapted to each new age while never quite losing its connection to wealth and value. The Comstock lode created Virginia City from nothing in 1859. Prospectors digging for gold in western Nevada discovered something unexpected: massive silver deposits mixed with gold ore. The Comstock lode would produce over $400 million worth of silver and gold over 20 years, equivalent to tens of billions today. Virginia City materialized from high desert virtually overnight. By 1875, this remote settlement boasted an opera house, 5 newspapers, electric streetlights, and over 25,000 residents. Samuel Clemens worked as a reporter there, mining stories instead of ore, developing his Mark Twain persona while watching fortunes made and lost with frontier rapidity. The Comstock silver financed the Union during the Civil War and built much of San Francisco's early infrastructure. The Comstock demonstrated that American territories held mineral wealth rivaling the legendary Spanish discoveries. It also showed how quickly silver could transform from geological curiosity to economic engine. When the mines played out, Virginia City emptied almost as fast as it had filled. The silver had moved on, and so did the people. William Jennings Bryan's Cross of Gold speech made silver a political weapon. In 1896, farmers crushed by debt and falling crop prices saw salvation in silver coinage. More silver money meant inflation, they believed. Easier to pay back loans, easier to survive. Bryan stood before the Democratic Convention and spoke like thunder. "You shall not press down upon the brow of labor this crown of thorns. You shall not crucify mankind upon a cross of gold." His words resonated across rural America, turning monetary policy into moral crusade. Though Bryan lost the presidency 3 times, the free silver debate shaped American politics for decades, representing fundamental conflict between creditors and debtors, East and West. Congress mandated massive silver purchases in 1878 and 1890. Under pressure from mining states and pro-inflation constituencies, Congress passed the Bland-Allison Act of 1878, requiring the Treasury to purchase $2 to $4 million worth of silver monthly. The Sherman Silver Purchase Act of 1890 increased this to 4.5 million ounces monthly. These laws represented political compromise between those wanting full silver coinage and those defending the gold standard. The government accumulated massive silver reserves that would sit in vaults for decades. The Sherman Act was repealed in 1893 during a financial panic, but not before the Treasury had become one of the world's largest silver holders. Silver halide crystals captured 150 years of human history. When Louis Daguerre and William Henry Talbot developed photographic processes in the 1830s to 1840s, they relied on silver's unique light-sensitive properties. Silver halide crystals, when exposed to light, undergo chemical changes that can be fixed into permanent images. For over 150 years, every photograph, every film negative, every X-ray depended on this silver chemistry. Victorian family portraits, battlefield photographs from 2 world wars, the first images from space, all captured through silver's interaction with light. The billions of silver-based images still existing represent one of the largest industrial uses of the metal in history. Silver nitrate saved soldiers' eyes in World War I. Throughout the 19th and early 20th centuries, silver compounds played crucial medical roles. Silver nitrate drops prevented ophthalmia neonatorum, eye infections in newborns, after German physician Karl Kried demonstrated its effectiveness in 1881. During World War I, soldiers carried silver-based wound treatments. Before penicillin, silver's antimicrobial properties made it among the most reliable infection preventatives available. While antibiotics have largely replaced silver in mainstream medicine, silver sulfur-diazine creams for burn treatment and silver-coated medical devices demonstrate that the metal's antimicrobial properties remain relevant. The Manhattan Project borrowed 13,000 tons of silver from Treasury monetary reserves. World War II consumed silver voraciously. Photographic film for reconnaissance, electrical contacts for military equipment, specialized applications in radar and communications. The U.S. government borrowed over 13,000 tons of silver from Treasury monetary reserves for use in the Manhattan Project. The silver substituted for scarce copper in electromagnetic coils used to enrich uranium for atomic bombs. After the war, the silver was returned to the Treasury. But the conflict had demonstrated conclusively that silver had become strategic material, not just money, essential to modern warfare and technology. Silver vanished from American pockets in 1965. For 173 years, American dimes, quarters, and half dollars had contained 90% silver. But rising silver prices in the early 1960s created a problem. The metal content became worth more than the coin's face value. Citizens began hoarding pre-1965 coins, removing them from circulation. The Coinage Act of 1965 switched to copper-nickel-clad coins containing no silver. Within months, silver coins effectively disappeared from commerce. The change marked the end of an era stretching back to ancient times. Currency would no longer be made from precious metal, but from base metals given value by government decree. The Hunt brothers tried to corner the world silver market. Nelson Bunker Hunt and William Herbert Hunt, Texas oil billionaires, decided to own silver. Not some of it, all of it if they could. They bought and bought, accumulating futures contracts and taking physical delivery. Prices soared from $6 per ounce in January 1979 to nearly $50 by January 1980. At the peak, the Hunt family holdings were worth over $4.5 billion. Then gravity reasserted itself. Exchanges changed margin requirements. The Federal Reserve restricted credit for commodity speculation. On Silver Thursday, March 27, 1980, the empire collapsed. silver prices crashed. The hunts faced margin calls they couldn't meet. Their default threatened the broader financial system and demonstrated that even billionaires couldn't indefinitely manipulate commodity markets. Silver's 1980 peak still hasn't been matched. When adjusted for inflation, silver's peak of $49.45 in January 1980 equals over $150 in today's dollars. Since then, silver has never regained that pinnacle, though it came close during 2011's commodity boom. This history creates complex psychology among silver investors, memories of past highs, hopes for future returns, and the patient waiting that precious metals demand. The 1980 spike and crash marked the end of silver's era as a speculative playground. What followed was quieter, more industrial, less dramatic. But what is silver really? Beyond history and economics, what makes this metal unique? Let us explore now the physical nature of silver, its atomic structure, its properties, and discover how it comes from the earth, how miners extract it, how it flows through the modern world. Silver is element 47, unique in the periodic table, with properties no other substance can match. Breathe slowly. Let curiosity mix with relaxation. The science of silver is its own kind of poetry. Silver reflects light better than any other metal. A perfect mirror captures and returns almost every photon that touches it. That's silver, nature's finest reflector, bouncing back light with barely any loss. This is why telescope mirrors were silver-coated, why fine mirrors still use it today. Silver doesn't absorb light, it shares it, returning what it receives almost perfectly. Behind your eyelids, you can almost see silver's gleam, that cool, reflected light shimmering gently. Electricity moves faster through silver than anything else. Think of electrical current as water flowing through pipes. In silver pipes, the water rushes freely with almost no resistance. In other metals, there's friction, heat, loss. This makes silver valuable in circuits, in switches where connections must be perfect, in applications where every electron matters. Silver is the undisputed champion of conductivity, better than copper, better than gold, better than anything. 1 ounce of silver can stretch into a mile of wire. Silver bends without breaking. A single ounce can become wire stretching over a mile, or sheets so thin they almost disappear. The metal yields, flexes, accepts new shapes. This willingness to transform has made silver valuable to craftsmen for thousands of years. It cooperates with human hands, allowing itself to be shaped into beauty. Picture silversmiths hammering, forming, creating. The metal flows under their hands like water frozen into solid form, yet still somehow fluid. Most silver comes as a byproduct of other mining. When miners dig for copper, lead, or zinc, silver often comes along, mixed in the ore. They're not primarily seeking silver, but there it is, a valuable bonus. This means silver supply moves to its own rhythm, not always responding to silver's price. It's there because copper is there, because lead is being mined, because zinc is needed. Like a guest who arrives with someone else but proves equally welcome, silver has learned to be flexible about its origins. Mexico and Peru still produce most of the world's silver. The lands that gave Spain its treasure centuries ago continue giving. Mexican mines, Peruvian deposits, still productive, still flowing with silver after hundreds of years. History echoes in geography. The richest veins centuries ago remain rich today. Silver runs deep in certain earth, patient and enduring. You can almost smell the earth, dust and stone and metal, carrying the same silver that built empires. Silver tarnishes, wearing its history on its surface. Unlike gold's eternal brightness, silver reacts with air and sulfur, forming a dark coating. This isn't damage. The silver beneath remains intact, its time making itself visible, memory accumulating on the surface. There's something honest about this. Silver shows its age, wears its history. Each tarnish mark is contact with the world, interaction with air and time. Polishing removes the tarnish, revealing bright metal beneath. The silver was always there, just temporarily obscured. Sterling silver is 92.5% pure. The rest is copper. Pure silver is too soft for daily use. Add a small amount of copper, less than 1 part in 12, and it becomes durable, practical, able to withstand handling. Sterling silver, 92.5% silver, 7.5% copper, an alloy that works, that lasts, that serves. Sometimes combinations work better than purity. Sometimes a little mixing creates something more useful than either component alone. Silver ions kill bacteria by disrupting their cells. For reasons chemistry explains, but ancient peoples simply observed, silver disrupts microbial life. Water stored in silver vessels stayed fresh longer. Silver salves healed wounds. Now we understand the mechanism, silver ions interfering with bacterial cells, but the effect remains the same. Silver protects, silver heals, silver purifies. Modern medicine uses it still, in bandages and devices, trusting what has always been true. Silver fights infection. Your phone contains silver you'll never see. Inside your phone, traces of silver conduct signals. In solar panels on distant roofs, silver collects electricity. In water purification systems, silver kills bacteria you'll never meet. The metal works invisibly now, no longer in coins and jewelry alone, but hidden in technology, in infrastructure, in the background of modern life. You're part of this silver-connected world. The phone near your bed contains it. The devices around you carry traces. Silver everywhere, doing its quiet work. From ancient mines to modern factories, from treasure to technology, silver has transformed, evolved, found new purposes while never quite losing its old allure. Let us explore now how silver moves through today's world, how it's valued, how it's used, how an ancient precious metal remains absolutely essential to modern life, often in ways invisible to us. Breathe deeply. The journey nears its end, but silver's story continues, woven into the fabric of our technological age. Solar panels use silver to capture sunlight. On rooftops across the world, solar panels convert light into electricity. Inside each panel, thin lines of silver collect and conduct that electrical current, about a spoonful per panel. As more solar panels bloom across deserts and rooftops, more silver flows into this purpose. The metal that reflected moonlight for millennia now helps capture sunlight, convert it, send it flowing into homes. There's poetry in that transformation. Silver, ever adaptable, finding new ways to work with light. Billions of phones each contain a grain of silver. The device near your bed right now contains traces, not much, just fragments in circuit boards and switches. But multiplied across billions of phones, tablets, computers, it becomes substantial. Silver flows through the digital age in amounts too small to see, but too valuable to ignore. Connecting calls, conducting signals, enabling the technology we've come to depend on. Even as you set your phone aside to sleep, silver inside continues its quiet work. Patient conductor, invisible helper. Silver prices rise and fall like tides. Some years, silver rises, flowing in. Other years, it ebbs, flowing out. The rhythm isn't perfectly predictable, but it's there. Cycles of high and low, abundance and scarcity. Traders watch these tides, trying to catch the rising water, trying to avoid the falling. But tides follow their own schedule, influenced by industrial demand, investment flows, dollar strength, and broader economic forces. Silver rising and falling like water, natural as breathing, beyond any single person's control. Silver exists between two worlds, precious metal and industrial commodity, part investment, part raw material. Silver belongs fully to neither category, living in the space between. This in-between nature creates movement, creates interest, creates complexity. Silver is dual-natured, serving multiple purposes, belonging to multiple stories. When industrial demand rises, silver behaves like a commodity. When investors seek safety, it behaves like precious metal. This duality makes silver unique among elements. American silver eagles still carry the walking liberty design. Each year, mints strike millions of these 1-ounce coins. Lady Liberty striding forward on one side, an eagle on the other. Pure silver, carrying symbolic value beyond its metal worth. Collectors hold them, investors stack them. Some people simply find comfort in owning something real, something tangible, something that connects them to silver's long history. You can almost feel the weight of such a coin, substantial, real, present. Indian weddings and Chinese New Year still run on silver. In India, weddings bloom with silver jewelry, bangles, anklets, ornaments carrying both beauty and value. In China, silver represents prosperity, often gifted during celebrations. These traditions stretch back centuries, connecting modern practice to ancient custom. Silver in these cultures isn't just metal, it's heritage, it's blessing, its connection to ancestors who also valued it.
The specific
Parts vary, but the continuity remains. Silver valued then, silver valued now, silver valued always. Solar demand may create silver supply crunch. As solar panels multiply, as technology demands more, some analysts forecast that mining won't keep pace. Silver could become scarcer relative to demand. Photovoltaic cells use silver paste for electrical contacts. Each new solar installation requires silver. With global push for renewable energy, industrial demand grows while mine supply remains relatively fixed. Whether this creates sustained price increases or merely volatility depends on technological substitutes, recycling rates, and mining economics. Silver coins still serve as financial insurance, no longer in your pocket as change, but still present in mints, in vaults, in the consciousness of those who remember when coins rang silver. Some people still buy silver coins as protection, as savings, as tangible asset in an increasingly intangible world. The instinct to hold real wealth persists, even when everyday money has become digital numbers. This makes silver a bridge between past and present, between physical and abstract, between ancient and modern. Silver has served humanity for 5,000 years and counting. From Mesopotamian shekel weights to Spanish pieces of 8, from Roman denarii to modern bullion, silver has measured worth across half of recorded history. Even today, when we speak of silver as a metaphor, silver-tongued, silver screen, silver lining, we invoke the metal's association with value, beauty, and preciousness. The atoms in your jewelry might have been Roman coins, Spanish treasure, Chinese trade silver. Recycled and reformed across millennia, silver atoms circulate through civilization, witnesses to history. Silver's unique properties keep it irreplaceable. No other element matches silver's combination: best conductor of electricity, most reflective surface, antimicrobial properties, malleability, and relative abundance. Substitutes work for some applications: aluminum for mirrors, copper for wiring, but silver retains advantages that keep it relevant. When performance matters, when efficiency counts, silver often wins. Research continues into silver's properties for medical applications, catalytic processes, next-generation technologies. Each discovery potentially creates new demand. The moon metal still shines. Ancient peoples associated silver with the moon: cool, reflective, mysterious. That association persists today. Whether in a coin's gleam, a mirror's reflection, or the subtle shine of jewelry, silver continues to embody that quality our ancestors recognized. Something precious, something beautiful, something worthy of being treasured. Silver makes no promises, asks for no trust in institutions. It simply exists, reflecting light, conducting electricity, being itself. For those who hold it, silver rewards patience, not with guarantees, but with the quiet satisfaction of owning something real, something with 5,000 years of history, something that will outlast trends and technologies. We've journeyed from ancient mines to modern markets, from Spanish galleons to solar panels, from the moon metal of mythology to the essential element of technology. Now, as our journey ends, let us reflect on what silver means, what it has meant, what it might yet become. Silver has served humanity for 5 millennia, changing roles but never losing relevance. Breathe slowly. Let the weight of history settle gently. Consider silver's long arc across human civilization. The metal that captured moonlight continues to shine through ages, patient and enduring. Silver has been money longer than any government has existed. From ancient shekels to modern bullion, silver has outlasted empires, nations, and economic systems. It doesn't require trust in institutions, only recognition of its inherent properties. This longevity is rare. Currencies collapse, companies fail, technologies become obsolete. Silver persists. When you hold silver, you hold continuity across 5,000 years of human history. The same silver atoms have circulated through civilization. The silver in a Roman denarius might have become a Spanish piece of 8, then a Mexican dollar, then an American silver certificate, then a solar panel contact, then a wedding bracelet in Mumbai. Atoms don't disappear. They're recycled, reformed, repurposed. The silver that built the Parthenon, that paid Roman legions, that sailed the Manila galleon, that silver is still here, somewhere, in some form. You're connected to every previous generation through these circulating atoms. Silver's tarnish makes it more human than gold. Gold remains eternally bright, unchanged by air or time. Silver reacts, tarnishes, requires care. This vulnerability creates relationship between owner and object. Polishing tarnished silver reveals bright metal beneath. The silver was always there, just temporarily obscured. Beauty and value persist even when hidden. They simply need patient care to emerge again. There's honesty in this. Silver doesn't pretend to be immortal. It wears its history openly. Silver adapted when currency ended. Children today grow up never seeing silver coins in circulation. The direct link between silver and daily commerce, unbroken for millennia, severed in a single generation in 1965. Yet, silver found new roles, from currency to catalyst, from treasure to technology, from photography to photovoltaics. Silver proves that value isn't fixed, but evolves with human needs. The metal that measured worth for 5,000 years now enables renewable energy and digital communication. Adaptation is survival. Silver remains one of the few physical stores of value. In an increasingly digital world, where wealth exists as numbers in databases, silver offers tangibility. You can hold it, feel its cool weight, see its gleam. This physicality provides psychological comfort that digital assets cannot match. A handful of silver coins represents both history and hedge, duty and backup. For those who value having something real, something outside the financial system, silver offers accessibility that gold's higher price sometimes doesn't. Silver's story is humanity's story. Every settled society that discovered silver found uses for it. This consistency across cultures, climates, and centuries suggests something fundamental. Perhaps silver speaks to human aesthetics, to our appreciation of brightness, purity, and permanence. Hunter-gatherers didn't need it, but every civilization that followed did. Silver has earned its place in collective consciousness, woven into languages, economies, technologies, dreams. As long as humans exist, they will likely value silver. The future of silver depends on supply and innovation. Mine supply grows slowly. Industrial demand, particularly for solar panels and electronics, grows faster. Investment demand fluctuates with economic uncertainty. Whether silver becomes scarcer or merely more volatile depends on substitution technologies, recycling efficiency, and new deposit discoveries. What remains certain: silver's unique combination of properties ensures continued relevance. No other element does what silver does as well as silver does it. Silver asks only for patience. Unlike stocks promising dividends or bonds promising interest, silver simply exists. It makes no guarantees, requires no trust in counterparties. It sits quietly, reflecting light, conducting electricity, being itself. For those who hold it, silver rewards patience with the quiet satisfaction of owning something real. 5,000 years of history suggest silver will outlast current trends, current technologies, perhaps even current economic systems. It has before. The moon metal watches over you. Ancient peoples saw silver as luna, cool, reflective, enduring. That association persists in every coin, every mirror, every solar panel, every circuit board. Silver has been with humanity through everything: the rise of cities, the spread of empires, the Industrial Revolution, the digital age. It will likely be here after we're gone, still gleaming, still conducting, still valuable. From moonlight captured in metal to sunlight captured in silicon, silver's story continues, patient, enduring, flowing through time like water, finding new channels. And so, silver's story rests here. From ancient mountains to modern circuits, from moonlight made metal to sunlight captured. Silver has been with us through everything. You needn't remember any specific fact, just carry the feeling. Silver, patient, enduring, flowing. That coin in your hand, imagine it now. So warm, matching your exact temperature. Neither hot nor cold, just present. Silver reflects light. You reflect peace. Silver conducts electricity. You conduct calm. Silver flows through ages. You flow into sleep. The moon rises somewhere. Silver rests somewhere. And you rest too. Breathing so slowly now. Thoughts becoming simpler. Silver, moon, light. Fading, fading, gone. Sleep now. Deep, peaceful, complete. The moon metal watches over you. Good night.